Welcome to the tutorial, How to Connect Rig Control 2. Before using Rig Control 2, the USB driver must be installed. The driver should be installed automatically as part of the GR2 2 installation. Then use a USB cable to connect Rig Control 2 to a free USB 2 port on your computer. We are using the standalone version in this tutorial. In order to use the standalone version, you have to configure the audio settings first. You can call up the Audio and MIDI Settings Setup dialog from the File menu of GR2 2. In the Output Device menu, choose the ASIO or the Core Audio driver. Choose whichever sample rate you prefer. Define the Rig Control 2 as your output device. Click on Routing to choose your desired inputs and outputs. Now that you've defined which audio inputs and outputs GR2 2 will use, connect your audio cables. When using GR2 with a single guitar or bass guitar, plug it into Input 1. Use the Gain 1 control to adjust the input level. Pay attention to the input component level meter in GR2 2 to avoid clipping. The Input Activity LED indicates incoming audio signals. Turn down the input gain if the LED glows red. You can also use two guitars or bass guitars with GR2 2. Plug the second one into Input 2. Use the second gain control to set gain for Input 2. This mode is ideal for jamming with a friend, or if you use a stereo instrument like the Chapman stick. Before connecting the outputs, turn down the output components level in GR2 2 to prevent clipping. In terms of audio, Rig Control is compatible with a large number of amplification scenarios. The Rig Control outputs can be directly connected to powered monitor speakers, standard guitar amps, or studio mixers. If you want to connect your home stereo system, press the high-low output switch. The output signal will be lowered to -14 dB. If everything is connected right, you can increase the output components level in GR2 2 and adjust your speaker volume. If you want to listen with headphones, connect your headphones to the stereo headphone jack socket and adjust the volume with the headphone level control knob. The Output Activity LED indicates whether or not an audio signal is passed to the Rig Control 2's audio output. If you click in the Control Center on the button with the Rig Control icon, you'll see a representation of the Rig Control 2 hardware toward the lower left of the GR2 2 screen. GR2 lets you assign the foot switches and expression pedal to various software parameters, either by the simple Learn function or by manual assignment. To access the Learn function, right-click on any controllable parameter to bring up a context menu. To use the Learn function, click on Learn and move the hardware element to be assigned. The switch under the pedal is called Kickdown. The Kickdown is a typical assignment for the on-off switch of the wah-wah component. The pedal switch LED indicates if the switch under the pedal is activated. To enable the Rig Control 2 to receive data from a MIDI controller such as a keyboard or a MIDI pedal board, connect the MIDI out socket of your controller to the MIDI in socket on the Rig Control 2. To send data from Rig Control 2, connect its MIDI out socket to the MIDI in on the device you wish to control. Now go to the MIDI tab in the Audio and MIDI Settings Setup dialog. When you click on the MIDI tab, you'll see a list of MIDI inputs and outputs. You can toggle between on and off by clicking on the interface. Click on Learn at the desired parameter and move your MIDI controller. A message appears that a new controller was added. The MIDI Activity LED indicates when the Rig Control 2 is receiving MIDI signals from a sequencer or other controller.